Where is it? Where's the rest? The money. Where is the rest?
Strange World was released internationally on 23rd November and it had a really bad reception for a Disney animated movie. Made on the budget of almost $180 million, not including the money spent on global marketing, it ended up making only 62.7 million on box office. The thing is, I didn't even know about this movie when it was released originally. I only came to know about it when it's released on Disney Plus on 23rd December, just a month after its international release. So the marketing for this movie was really bad.
Oh, really? That sucks.
There was no buzz around it. The only reason I decided to watch it is because Jake Gyllenhaal voiced Sacha Clade, the main character, and as Jake is my favorite actor, I gave it a chance. In past, I have watched Ambulance just cause Jake was in it, and it turned out to be great, so I was hoping the same for this movie. But alas, it turned out to be just an okayish Disney animated movie. You see, the story starts with Searcher following in the footsteps of his father Jagger. They are explorers, but Searcher feels this is not what he wants, this is what his father wants. Yep, they went with such a cliched story for the movie. It hurts my brain, my eyes, my ears, and their bank account. Anyways, they are separated. Searcher goes his own way, while Jagger goes on his own to finish exploring what they started. And that's the last Searcher or anyone sees of Jagger. Now, years have passed. Sergey is living a happy life with his wife and son. He and his son are farmers and he thinks that is what his son wants. Have you figured out what happens later in the movie? I think you have. I won't say it, but God, it is so predictable. As you continue watching, you can easily predict what will happen next. And I know it's a movie for kids, but do even kids like this movie? Judging by its earnings, probably not. Before I started rambling about it, I will say what I liked. The animation of the movie is incredible. The visuals are pleasing to look at, really. The colors were bright, probably to be more attractive toward kids, but I think the color saturation was done right. It complemented the movie. Also, while the jokes were unfunny for me, but this character Splat made me smile a few times. But that's all for the positives of the movie. Now let's do some bitching. Despite being only 1 hour 42 minutes long, you will only enjoy it partly because of how unoriginal and uninspired it is. You can not only predict the plot but the jokes as well. Most of the humor is characters slapping other characters. It's really repetitive, and I will acknowledge what you all are thinking. This movie is made for kids or families, and when I watched it, I wasn't a kid, pretty sure about it, and didn't watch it with my family. I watched it alone. But hey, I can give my outsider's view. Also, there are so many kid movies that can be kid friendly while also keeping the adults engaged, like Pixar movies or even Leagues of Super Pets this year. But I think I shouldn't compare it to other movies. The only reason I did is because it tries to be deep with its messaging, which I'm sure kids are going to ignore. So I'm assuming those are for adults. But this movie is as subtle as this guy. It is too on the nose. They desperately needed a better script that would have left some impact on the viewers. The whole family sticking together strict was so forced, and the ending was just too happy for my liking. The movie starts with narration, which is most of the times a really lazy way to start your movie, and that's the case here. Like, instead of narration, they could have added 1 or 2 lines in the opening scene of the movie, and it would have been better and saved time. They could have used that time to show Searcher's issue with Jagger and being an explorer. They could have shown him facing troubles. Instead, the opening is too straightforward. They are on an expedition. Sacha gets in trouble, Jaeger saves him, they argue about something and go their own way. Even though I predicted this will happen during the opening narration, but it was still so out of nowhere the way they started arguing and leaving each other. The rest of the movie is same, either too rushed or too slow, no in between. While I like the animation of the movie, but the character designs were so what's the word? Distracting. Like, look at their noses, how big it is. No offense to the people with big noses. I have pretty big nose myself, but yeah, it was really distracting. Such a look like Jim, but with Dwight's nose multiplied by 100.
Proportions of my face are perfect in every way but one. My nose is too small.
Disney Animation needs to change their characters' design immediately because their current character designs are awfully awful. Also, while making the review, I read that so many others didn't even knew about this movie. The marketing for this movie is just the worst. I guess that I guess they made this movie for animators and their families. They were must have just shared this movie trailer on their WhatsApp groups or something like that. It's like they wanted to hide it. I guess the main selling point of this movie was Jake Gyllenhaal and that it's the first time Disney animated movie will feature a gay character as one of the main lead. But I guess they forget that they need a good script to make a good movie. An honest mistake, really. The voice acting in this movie was pretty good, but the dialogues were so unnatural and kind of frustrating. Again, it lacked any subtlety like the story. I think it would have had better reception if it was released straight on Disney Plus. Because while I still didn't like watching it from the comfort of my home, but if I spent money on a ticket and traveled to watch this movie, I would have teared this movie apart. It doesn't have any cinematic experience, and I imagine everyone who went to watch this movie in theaters must have regretted it. I kind of feel bad roasting this movie like this. It's a kids movie that I shouldn't have watched in the first place. Overall, it's an okay movie with good visuals and voice acting, but full of cliches, bad jokes, and really unfocused story. It doesn't know what it wants to be, what it wants to do, and what kind of impact it wants to leave. That is all I have to say. My rambling comes to an end. If you like the video, press the like button, and if you have watched the movie, comment below your opinions about it. Subscribe to the channel, it really helps. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Put 'em on, take 'em off, put 'em on, take 'em off. Make up your mind.